You have gotten past the morning sickness, and you are in your golden trimester. Your baby is developing rapidly, and you have lots more appointments with your care provider. Today, we're going to be talking about the second trimester of pregnancy and all the exciting things that are going to happen with you and your baby. I'm Dr. Goicoechea, a board-certified OBGYN, and this is Preggy Pals, episode 101.
Is that a plus sign?
Pink or blue? Hospital or home birth?
What type of food should I be eating?
I think I just peed myself. I'm pregnant and I have to exercise.
What pregnancy glow?
Wait, was that a contraction?
Gotta make these pants fit. I've got kinkles.
What do you mean there's more than one?
You've got the symptoms, and now you've got the support you need for a happy 9 months. This is Preggy Pals, your pregnancy, your way.
Welcome to Preggy Pals, broadcasting from the Birth Education Center of San Diego. Preggy Pals is your weekly online, on-the-go support group for expecting parents and those hoping to become pregnant. I'm your host, Annie Laird. Thanks to all of our loyal listeners who have joined the Preggy Pals Club. Our members get special episodes, bonus content after each show, plus special giveaways and discounts. See our website for more information. Another way for you to stay connected is by downloading our free Preggy Pals app, and this is available both in the Android marketplace and the iTunes marketplace. Here's Samantha. She's our brand new producer. Yay! And she is going to be giving us some information about our virtual panelist program. So take it away, Samantha.
Thank you so much, Annie. So if you don't live in San Diego, but you'd like to be a panelist on our show, you can still participate through our virtual panelist program. Just like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter using hashtag PreggyPalsVP. We'll post questions throughout the week prior to our taping, and we'd love for you to comment so we can incorporate your thoughts into our episode. You can also submit your questions directly to our experts. Learn more about our virtual panelist program through the community section on our website, www.preggypals.com.
All right, just a little bit more about myself and the producer today. I'm Annie. I'm 35, government contractor by day, and kind of labor doula, starting to get back into that a little bit. So, and then podcast host, blogger. Don't have a due date. I have 3 little girls, a grade schooler, a toddler, and then I don't know if I can call her a newborn. Can I call a newborn if she's 20 pounds? I don't know. They're just big, and they just like to eat a lot. So vaginal birth for all my kids. So one in the hospital, one a home birth that transferred to the hospital. That was a load of fun. And then the last one was a home birth. So that's me in a nutshell. So Samantha, what about you?
All right, so I'm Samantha. I'm 22. I'm a barista by morning.
And you're the coffee bean.
I am at the coffee bean.
Yeah.
And a producer by afternoon. I do not have a due date, although I wish I did. I have one little girl. She's going to be 18 months and is already getting into the terrible twos.
Wait, when's her birthday?
She was born in October of 2012.
Okay, all right. So she's just a little bit younger than my Lucy. That's a fun age. So because
she's a pistol.
Yeah, that's a positive spin on that. So but it's fun because they just start to learn a lot more words around that age.
Yes,
so
that's the best part.
Yeah,
the best.
Yeah.
And she was an unexpected cesarean, so I'm hoping for a VBAC next time around.
Oh, awesome. Well, let's go into our featured segment then. This goes really well with what you were saying about your labor, Samantha. It's New Jersey mom gives birth in a nail salon. So you did not give birth in a nail salon. You had 26 hours, 26, 29, 26?
29.
29 hours of labor. Wow. So Sergio Rubinstein, she's had her newborn Damien in a nail salon. So her firstborn here, she had her little girl 3 years previously, and it was a typical kind of first long labor and all that, and I guess it took more than a day, so she thought, well, I'm not gonna go and hang out at the hospital, so she decided to get a manicure.
So she was already in early labor and decided.
Yeah, she was in early labor, and so she decided to go to the nail salon, and so her labor produced quickly after she got the manicure. I guess she went also to get a massage, a manicure, and a pedicure. But her husband got summoned to the salon, as was an ambulance. And Sergio, her husband, came just in time, and the baby was born in the bathroom of the nail salon. Oh, God. Yeah, so you hope they're using their barbicide, right? The salon's owner, Nancy Wang, she was en route to the salon during the delivery. When she arrived, the baby was already born. she was still sitting in the bathroom for some reason, and then very shortly after that, the ambulance came. But she says, everybody was very nervous. I was happy the baby was born and was doing fine. So, Samantha, maybe that is,
a way to get labor going.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's funny because I had friends that, they went and got a facial. A very good friend of mine, she decided, well, maybe I think today's the day. I'm going to go get a facial. And she barely made it home.
Wow.
And, the birth photographer, who's also another dear friend of mine, showed up at the house, and she was the first one. She was the first one to get there even before the husband was. So I know something about, just treating yourself and pampering yourself. And maybe too, with second babies. I mean, my second baby, I think that took me a little bit by surprise. By the time, fast second baby. So there you go. So lesson learned from New Jersey mom, from Anna Rubenstein in New Jersey. Go to the nail salon if you want to have a quick second birth. Today on Preggy Pals, we're continuing our series on fetal development, moving on to the second trimester. So first, if you remember, we had an episode about this earlier on a few months ago, and we kicked it off with the first trimester. So it was a lot of, hey, this is how you deal with morning sickness. Here's all of the stuff that's going on with your baby and the development. So now we're moving on to the second trimester. So our expert is Dr. Goycochea, and he works at Sharp Grossmont Hospital. He's previously served as the hospital's OBGYN department chairman. Dr. Goycochea, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah, so now talking about second trimester, what weeks of pregnancy usually correlate with the second trimester?
That will usually be somewhere between 13 to 26 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you say that, we count from the first day of the last period. We know you don't consider for 2, so for the next 2 weeks. So it's a lot of confusion, but usually it's around 13 to 26 weeks.
Oh, okay. So that's about months 4 to 6.
4 to 6, correct.
Yeah. It's so funny because sometimes you'll go on websites, at least I did when I was pregnant, on like Baby Center. I don't know if Samantha, you did that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and you're like, and it's tough because with that first trimester, I think a lot of women don't tell, maybe they probably tell their partner, but not a lot of other people work and whatnot.
Right,
and they say, I'm going to get out of my first trimester and get into the second trimester so I know the pregnancy's solid, the baby's good, the baby's healthy, and so for
you
someone,
don't want to tell on social media or anything like
yeah,
that, right?
Yeah, well, some people do, some people don't. But yeah, and so you want to wait till the end of first trimester, but it's confusing sometimes. You go in these websites and you're like, when is
it 12 weeks?
Is it 14 weeks? 14 weeks? I don't know. Yeah, so doctor, what percentage of women get relief from morning sickness during the second trimester?
Well over 50%.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's a big change.
Yeah, I would say my friend Cherry, she just had her baby. I was just showing pictures before we started taping here to Samantha, and she had terrible morning sickness. I'm trying to think, what's the term for when they have it throughout the whole pregnancy? It's like hyper or something.
Hyperemesis gravidarum.
Yeah. So she had that throughout her pregnancy. So
they're pretty miserable.
Yeah.
The doctor centers are miserable too.
Yeah.
Along with them.
Yeah. I only had morning sickness really in my first trimester, and that was bad enough. It was the worst. I know, Samantha, did you have it?
I did 6 to 12 weeks. Those 6 weeks were miserable. But, I didn't have morning sickness. I had afternoon sickness. It was like 2 p.m. through the rest of the day. The morning was fantastic, so I'd get everything done I needed to during the morning.
Now, were you working at the Coffee Bean at that time?
I still was, yeah. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I was the morning shift because 2 p.m. the rest of the day, I was out.
Yeah.
That's a misnomer. You're right. It's not the morning. It should be more called nausea of pregnancy.
Yeah.
Rather than morning sickness, because it can happen anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And often can be in the afternoon, but it can be hard.
No,
yes.
Yeah, and you mentioned, 12 weeks, and for me it was like 12, 13 weeks, and all of a sudden it was like the clouds parted and like,
your belly bump showing. You're
exactly.
Like, yes, I feel great.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, what causes that big shift? Why do so many women get that relief in their second trimester?
Well, if we can try to ask what causes it, first of all, we don't know. We think that it's a combination of hormones produced in the placenta, the HCG or human chorionic gonadotropin. That's a hormone that is produced in high levels during the second trimester, during the first trimester. High levels of estrogen, and you get that with the birth control pills. You get nauseated. High levels of progesterone. So all this happen more in the first trimester. Second trimester begin to come down.
Oh, okay.
So I would think that if you're going to think that the elevation causes the morning sickness, that if it start coming down, that you get a relief of that. There is also some psychosocial involvement in it, and there is also maybe improvement on that also makes improvement on the nausea and the morning sickness, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing during the morning sickness of my first trimester. That was the only thing that I had was, you know what, at least this is probably, and like you're saying, it's a lot of these hormones are in elevated levels during that first trimester. And so that was the only thing I held on to. Like, you know what, I'm going to be grateful that I'm sick, especially since I had several losses in between my first and my second pregnancy, 3 of them, that said, you know, I'm just going to hold on to the fact that this means that
it's
a
encouraging.
Healthy baby. Yeah,
right.
that it's a healthy baby, that the pregnancy's going to stick this time. And it did. Yeah. So she's very large and very loud now. And yeah, so I'm grateful though. Now, when is the sex of the baby apparent? Is that something that you can tell by ultrasound right at the beginning of the second trimester? Or?
It's almost at the 14th week you can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can probably detect it at a time, especially if it's doing an eagle spread.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're very shy.
Hi, Mom.
Right,
yeah.
right, here it is for you.
Yeah.
Usually around that time you can tell.
Yeah. Now, and if a woman is getting like amniocentesis or something like that, they would definitely be able to tell. Like, I don't want to say 100%, but that would be a better indicator than if like an ultrasound. Is that correct?
Or if you do the amnio as opposed to the ultrasound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, when you do the amnio, generally you do it for chromosomal studies,
right?
And then definitely you get the chromosomes there.
Yeah. So then, yeah, you definitely know
Right.
if it was a boy or a girl,
Right.
as opposed to, you know, having a surprise with an ultrasound. So, but I imagine, yeah, earlier on, you know, there's just less baby. You know, the baby's not quite as big right at the beginning of the second trimester.
Correct.
As opposed, because I know, Samantha, when did you have your ultrasound, or did you have multiple ultrasounds?
So I was that mom that paid to go get an ultrasound like as soon as you could to find out what it was. But I already had a really good intuition. I told everybody, I was like, I already start buying pink stuff. Like, I already know it's going to be a girl. And then a month later, they were like, yeah, it's a girl. So, but next time we don't plan on finding out. So I'm kind of both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, you know, and I'd like to talk with that. Well, you've, you know, been an OBGYN for quite some time now. Have you noticed that women are starting to not find out what the gender is, or is it more often that you find
Actually,
that?
lately I have a few that do not want to know it.
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 children, and I never knew who the sex was.
Mm-hmm.
They're all boys, but I never knew until right at the end.
When can the baby's hearing develop to the point that he can hear what's going on in conversations between mom and dad, siblings arguing, all that?
Probably the ears begin to form around 14 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Probably it's more like about 20 to 24 weeks when you're beginning to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
And they hear a lot, mom, because it just reverberates by their own talking, and sound travels through their body at the fluid to the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing that the baby remembers the most, and it starts right around 24 weeks.
Yeah, and I think that's so neat. Every birth that I have the privilege of attending as a labor doula, to see that when the baby is placed on mom's chest, to see just that eye contact, and that's amazing. He's never seen the mother before, but like you're saying, he hears her.
That's
knows
an
her.
amazing. In spite of having done thousands of deliveries, that's always an amazing episode to happen right at the moment. This is great.
When we come back, we'll discuss when the first movements are felt, otherwise called as quickening. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Today we're talking about fetal development in the second trimester. Now, doctor, when are the first movements felt? And are there things like the placement of the placenta that can alter that, or as far as you'd feel it later? Or
Certainly, the placement of the placenta,
Yeah.
the weight of the mother itself can vary. Generally, you'd expect the quickening or flattering around 16 weeks. On a first pregnancy. Second pregnancy, you can tell your moms tell you even at 14 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It's probably because they're more sensitized also to know what to expect. Mm-hmm. But generally, it's about 16 weeks, and
They know it's not like gas or something like that, or something
right,
they just ate.
not-
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And movement per se, they begin to probably detect around 20 weeks. Mm-hmm. What do you feel? Thumb go, whoa, what's that?
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder too, like with I had anterior placentas with all three of my kids, and it just confirmed through the ultrasound. So for me, it was a little bit later. I still remember with my firstborn, I was in a really boring, I was in graduate school at the time, and I was in like a physical oceanography class or something like that, and I'd just eaten, and it was something where I was just kind of focusing on baby, and that was when I first, but it wasn't until like 21, 22 weeks, something like that. So I wonder if the placenta being in the way or being in the front there had something to do with the fact that I didn't feel.
It may have something to do with that because you have that extra thickness, and the placenta may add another 2-3 centimeters. And gotta realize the baby's still very small. Even the kick that is not a very strong kick. It's just kind of a little thumb. So that makes a difference, I think.
Yeah.
And also whether you pay attention to it or not.
Yeah. Samantha, when did you feel the quickening with your daughter?
So I'm only had one baby, so she was only my first, and I felt it at like 14 weeks. I remember I'd eaten a donut for breakfast. I did it on purpose. Specifically, I was like, I'm gonna
Donut and orange juice right after talking about gestational diabetes.
I know, right?
Nice. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a donut, I'm gonna have some orange juice, and I'm gonna sit on the couch,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna see what happens. And it was amazing. It's the best feeling, and I was really, really lucky to be able to feel it so early. I didn't have an anterior placenta, so I was able to feel really early, and it's so exciting. That's just a good confirmation
Exactly.
that everything is worth it.
Yeah. And when does the baby start to suck his thumb? Do all babies tend to suck their thumbs, or some tend to be thumb suckers and some don't? Does that happen?
Some do, some don't.
Yeah. Can they usually find their thumb, though? Are they doing that in their second trimester, or is that later on?
It's more like about 24, 25 weeks. They probably start making sucking motion earlier, like about 14, 16 weeks.
Oh, okay.
But sucking their thumbs is probably like about 24, 25 weeks. There's some indication, I don't know how, that if you suck your thumb, right thumb, you'll be right-handed.
Huh.
But that's interesting.
I'll have to see. I'll have to find out, because my my first daughter wasn't a thumb sucker, and I can't really tell yet with the toddler if as far as handedness.
Oh, really? Oh, I know Olivia's right-handed.
Oh, really?
Every time I hand her something to her left hand, immediately goes to the right.
Huh.
Yeah, she's set.
Why is the baby's skin? When does it stop to be so translucent? Because it starts out pretty translucent,
Right, it was almost
and
like very, very thin. You
Yeah.
can almost see the blood vessels. And as it progresses towards 24 weeks, it becomes what we call keratinized. Keratin is a molecule that is thick, like in our skin.
Okay.
And that actually serves to prevent any of the moisture and fluids from the baby coming out from the baby into the environment.
Oh, okay.
So at that point, it becomes opaque.
Okay. And when does vernix start to? It's kind of the cottage, the
right.
cheesy kind of coating on the baby.
Right.
When does that start to form?
It's called vernix caseosa. Caseosa means cheese. In Latin, we like to use words like that.
Yeah.
So that's close about the same time, and it's
Okay.
actually and just before that, you also had the about time formation of lanugo, these little fine hairs, and the vernix attaches to that just to protect the baby because it's going to be in a fluid environment for the rest of the pregnancy.
Yeah. So that way they don't get all wrinkly, like coming out of a bathtub, basically. So.
Right.
Yeah. Did your daughter? Did she have any vernix on her when she was born?
You know what? She was born at 40 and 6, so she was past her due date.
Yeah.
So no, she had well, I was also under general anesthesia, so I don't have a whole lot of recognition the first like 2 hours. So she very well might have, and they
She might have been
just
coated, all
wiped
white.
it all away.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of the time that disappears closer to the end of the pregnancy. Most of
Really?
the babies born at term, they're born pretty
It's pretty
clean.
much gone by that.
Clean.
Yeah.
They've taken a shower before coming out.
Well, that was something that my midwife noted with my third daughter, because she had almost none.
Really?
Yeah, and we pretty much knew when she was conceived, just due to my husband's deployment schedule. But she came out and she had almost none, and she was like 40 weeks, 5 days. And my midwife was like, "Are you sure? Like,
that your dates
are
were
you
right."
sure? Yeah, about the dates being right." And then some of that was ultrasound too, because I went in for an ultrasound and the tech was funny, or he's trying to be funny. He said, "Okay, so at birth your baby's gonna be 12 pounds," and like I was like at 28 weeks, and he was calling it like 34 weeks or 32 weeks.
That's also pretty unreliable, also. So.
Yeah, by that time, yeah. So,
but still, it still freaks you out to think that you're gonna push out something that weighs 12 pounds.
Yeah, she was almost 10, so it was fine. I have a proven pelvis. It's good. So, well, thanks, Dr. Goicoechea, for joining us today. For more information about the doctor and his OBGYN practice, as well as information about our panelists, visit the episode page on our website. This conversation continues for members of our Preggy Pals Club. After the show, Dr. Goicoechea will be discussing what your care provider is looking for besides the gender of your baby during your 20-week ultrasound. To join our club, visit our website, www.preggypals.com. Hey, we love getting feedback from you guys and different questions from our listeners. And this question is from Janie in Connecticut. She says, "Hey, Preggy Pals, I'm so excited to have found your podcast through iTunes. My husband and I aren't pregnant yet, but we're trying to learn as much as we can about pregnancy so we're better prepared. We've also had some trouble conceiving. Do you have any episodes that focus on conception, or is everything geared towards pregnancy after the baby is conceived?"
Hey everyone, this is Sunny. I'm one of the producers on the show. So yes, to answer your question, Preggy Pals is obviously about pregnancy, but we do have a lot of people that listen to the show that are trying to conceive. And so we have a series that we've been doing on the show. It's called Getting Pregnant, and it covers all things fertility. So I think we've got a few episodes out right now. If you go to our website and click under the episodes section, you'll see a section for episode series. Look under Getting Pregnant, click that, and it'll list all the episodes available. But we do plan to continue to release more episodes in this series. If you guys have a story idea specifically about fertility that you would like us to address, please let us know. Send us an email to the website, and our website is www.preggypals.com.
That wraps up our show for today. We appreciate you listening to Preggy Pals. Don't forget to check out our sister shows, Parent Savers, for parents with newborns, infants, and toddlers, Twin Talks for parents of multiples, and our show The Boob Group for moms who breastfeed their babies. Next week, we'll be continuing our series on childbirth education methods. Linda Goldsmith, the owner of Pregnancy Sanctuary in Encinitas, California, will be on the show to talk about her sacred pregnancy classes. This is Preggy Pals, your pregnancy, your way.
This has been a New Mommy Media production. The information and material contained in this episode are presented for educational purposes only. Statements and opinions expressed in this episode are not necessarily those of New Mommy Media and should not be considered facts. While such information and materials are believed to be accurate, it is not intended to replace or substitute for professional medical advice or care, and should not be used for diagnosing or treating healthcare problem or disease or prescribing any medication. If you have questions or concerns regarding your physical or mental health or the health of your baby, please seek assistance from a qualified healthcare provider.
New Mommy Media is expanding our lineup of shows for new and expecting parents. If you have an idea for a new series, or if you're a business or organization interested in joining our network of shows through a co-branded podcast, visit newmommymedia.com. Hey mamas, don't forget to check out Mighty Moms. It's our online community built for new moms just like you. Not only can you connect with other moms, but you can also join us backstage for special mom-only online events. And you'll also be notified when we're recording so you can join us as a special guest. Visit our website, newmommymedia.com, and click on the Mighty Moms banner. It's free. That's newmommymedia.com. See you there.